What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming.
Shut up and sit down.
How's everyone doing? Good to see you here for this Midday Monologue Monday. And, you know, what I've been thinking about lately, what's been on my mind is well, as always, it's gaming. But there's a certain difference between board gaming and role-play gaming. Even with the campaign, yes, there are some very cool campaign-style board games that are out there that do a great job feeling like a full-blown RPG. I'm not going to get into the nuances of which one comes across feeling better, and I think I did a video on that a couple of years ago. Maybe it's time for an update. But that's not this video right now. No, you see, when it comes to board games, even when you have an almost unplayable amount in your collection like I do, there's still, generally speaking, one-off events. Even the campaign-style board games, most of them do have some sort of mode, a one-off mode, a dungeon crawler mode, a dungeon dive mode, whatever you want to call it or the game calls it, a one-off. Not all, but a lot of them do. So board games, even when you have tons of them, even when they're flooding your residence, most of them, even though the good ones you want to play as many times as possible, you still only need one session of. What I mean is, your gang comes over, you throw the game down on the table, you play it, you have fun, everyone goes home, and you don't necessarily have to think about, you know, the next chapter in the story. And everyone has to be here to play it again. You know, and the continuity of everything. You don't have to worry about that when you're playing most types of board games. So having an extraordinary amount is not necessarily going to hamper your ability to experience sitting down for an afternoon and gaming with one of these titles. But besides board games, another great love I have, and I believe many of you might also, especially if you clicked on this thumbnail, is role-playing games. Now that is a horse of a different color. Now, my love of role-playing games, and this is just what you can see in screen, this is like a third of the collection of gaming books and box sets I have for it. This is different. I mean, yes, you can sit down for a one-shot afternoon feel of the game. You know, a little experience for an afternoon, a one-off shot adventure. But if that's the case, just play Hero Quest. Or another similar genre matching game to whatever RPG you're thinking about running as a one-time, one afternoon, let's just sit down for 3-4 hours, do one session, and then forget about this game. That's not really an RPG. That's board game mentality. I've done it. I'm not happy about it in the long run, in the big picture. But that's board game mentality. Can't necessarily have that mentality with RPGs, because the concept and the core of an RPG is an ongoing experience, growth of your characters, either through point systems or skills or leveling or knowledge, however that works out in the game system and mechanics. But it is an ongoing, living gaming system, which is why, generally speaking, over the 4.5 decades or a little more that I've been doing RPGs, they tend to run for like a year, a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, and then we finish a really good run of a storyline, and then it's like, okay, do we want to continue? Or do you want to try something else? Do you want to jump into in the old days it was we just did this D&D run for a year. Now do you want to jump into Boot Hill or Gamma World or Top Secret or Gangbusters, Marvel superheroes, Nowadays, it's a lot of the same questions, because our ongoing Dungeons and Dragons campaign is absolutely awesome. We're 2 modules under the belt now. It's been like 2 years that we've been playing with these characters. But in between the module, what I've already done once, and now I'm on the second time doing this, is giving them a chance to have a different experience. And the first time, we kept it to D&D, but I let them play evil characters, higher level, mid-high level evil characters for a one-off. I think it ran 4-part campaign. It's a little palate cleanser for them playing the good guys in D&D for a while. And they all loved it. Absolutely loved it. Loved it that it was a short little jump. Just lasted us a couple of months of playing. They got back into the main D&D. So that's where I'm coming from now. I think that's the best way for me to handle all these amazing RPGs that I have, and the fact that I know most of them the players are going to absolutely love. And I'm seeing that right now because we already just cracked into our werewolf campaign now that we put D&D to bed for a couple of months. And already the thoughts are going. Or, because I talked to my players about this. The gang knows the pattern, the schedule I'm looking for to incorporate more RPGs, and they're happy with it. So, I just want to talk about what I think for my group, and what I would like to do as a DM, GM, storyteller, to experience with the whole gang around the table. So yes, right now we are doing Werewolf the Apocalypse, set in New York City / Canada, 1990s. They're loving it, but they're also already, biting at the chomps, waiting to get back to their main D&D characters. And the fact that I'm letting them create secondary characters so that when their main characters leave their new home, the town, to go off an adventure, they still have characters to run their businesses and go on city adventures. So they're really excited about that. And I told them, just this weekend, 2 days ago, we were talking about this, and I said to them, unless you guys tell me otherwise, I think after this run of Werewolf, we jump back to D&D, and I think the next RPG break from D&D that we take for a few months, I think should be Star Wars. I think should be the D20 Wizards of the Coast Star Wars system. I have most of the books for it. I have a ton of miniatures that they came out with specifically for that line back in the early 2000s. So let's do this. Let's go for it. So now, beyond that, right? And so there are 2 choices. There are 2 choices I'll be giving the players. One, you could do a low-level, introductory, Rebel-era campaign. All for that. Or, I don't know, I think the group would be a little divided. This will be a tough decision, I think. Or, I'll give them the chance to run Sith characters in an alternate what-if Star Wars future, where what if Luke and the Rebellion lost and the Emperor and Vader won? And now, if you know the old book canon, I think it's all been destroyed now, but if you know the old book canon, it was some time after the Rebels defeated the Empire that the Yuzong Vong came in from outside the Galactic Rim. And they were devastating. The Empire, the remains of the Empire, as well as the New Republic. They were tearing through the Jedis because they don't exist in the Force. The Force is powerless against them. Oh, it's horrible. And to see how the Sith might possibly handle it would be a really fun campaign, I think. Now, another game I'm more than willing to play, I got ideas bubbling in my head, is Call of Cthulhu. And I would do this with the D20 rules because the players are very used to them, and I have that rule system. And the question with that would be, if I'm going to set it in the classic 1920s Prohibition era, or, I don't know, I could do either one and have so much fun with it, or set it in 1970s New York City. Oh yeah, I think both would be. I want to be classically great to run, and the other would be awesomely great. Rockingly, you would rock. New York City in the 70s for Cthulhu. Yeah, that could very much be fun. Now, the last idea I have that I think would be a really good fit to introduce them to, and we could have fun as a side RPG adventure, You know, all of these side things, you know, I plan on running anywhere between 3 to 5 sessions. So it's not just a one-off 4-hour day thing. We do got time to get into character, do some serious role playing, and, you know, exploring who we are in the game. But yeah, so I think the other idea would be the D20 modern system. And I would like to run that with the Urban Arcana source book. So I could do it either, depending on which way the players think we would have more fun, do it either as sort of an X-Files, you know, they call it in that system Department 7. So run it like an X-Files, you know, meets the TV show Grimm kind of style. Or maybe I could run it more like a traditional lone hunters kind of thing, like you find in Supernatural. I think the players would have a lot of fun with that. And just like with the werewolf campaign, bringing it into the modern era, you could also say this with the Call of Cthulhu if I do the 1970s in New York, but bringing it into both the modern era and an area that they visually know in real life, New York City, does help bring the game a little bit more, you know, a little bit more to life. So, yeah, what do you do when you have more RPGs than you got time to play? Well, my friends, you make time. That's what you're going to do, is you're going to make mini campaigns, things that will run 3, 4, 5 sessions. Give the players enough time to really feel the game, feel the characters, learn the system, and get to know whether they like it or not. And who knows? And we've already discussed this. Who knows? Down the line that the players may tell me, John, you know, could we turn D&D into a side RPG and do Werewolf full-time or do Star Wars full-time? That's fine. Because it's all about having fun. And if that's how my players are going to have a lot of fun, that means that's how I'm going to have fun. So yeah, that's what I think is best to do when you have too many RPGs and not enough time. Thank you for joining me. I'm your buddy Big John G for Two Gun Pixel presents Legendary Gaming, and I am out of here.